hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. Previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Fail One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J., alongside the leader of Squash Squad, Kaliko Yas.
It's nothing but like a quick, peaceful, quiet Saturday night. Go Dogs!
And the American Scooter Dust, who is still not with us for the time being. But it was still a good week for Wrestling Wit as we celebrated last week our 3-year anniversary of our first interview, which was Whiskey John. And obviously after that, Christian Robinson. We celebrated on Tuesday with T.Y. Jackson, a part of Love Pro Wrestling, one of our favorite independent wrestling companies. And on Wednesday we had Alexis Lee, our first interview from Singapore. Incredible interview, and TY as well, and I cannot recommend both interviews enough. Go into the archives and check them out. This upcoming Tuesday, we have the Little Vixen, Briar Hale on the show. Yes, we got both twins on the show. We talk about her sister, Sage Hale, teaming with her, competing against her, winning her first championships against her, an AEW Dark appearance, South Park, Scary Movies, Harry Potter, and a lot more. Can't recommend that one enough. And then this upcoming Wednesday, we have Yao Yan, our first ever interview from China, and Gao's first ever English spoken interview. So you definitely want to hear what he has to say. He's a 10-year pro. He's competed about just about everybody. He's wrestled against Bronson Reed, Jack Gibson. He's done, and we talk about all of that and a whole lot more. But here's some clips right now.
So bad.
Are you a big Scream fan?
I've watched a few of them. I do not like horror movies. I can't lie. I'm a big, when it comes to like horror movies, I'm just not one of those people. But one of these like painting that says "No, you hang up" with a whole bunch of like pink and everything, I was like, man, I really want to make this to put on my wall. And like I could buy it, but I'm like, man, let me see if I can paint it first, just so give me something to do. And I think it turned out really well. Like I said, I've watched a few of the Screams, but I'm just not a huge horror film. Like I get scared. Can't lie, I get scared really easily.
Then Bronson Reed, Jonah. What was it like to wrestle Bronson Reed?
Bronson Reed is a good wrestler. He's very good. The first time I met him is in the Malaysia. It was a tag team match, and he was so big, and his hand is so big. When he chopped me, I just feel like I'm about to die. I can't breathe, and and Bronson Reed is very nice guy. Because he's so big and he's strong. At that time, I'm just like a chicken. I'm just very small guy and don't have a big name. And he will listen to my advice in the match, and he will allow me to do something to can let me have some moment in that match. So I feel so. I just want to say thank you for everything he allowed me to do.
And then on November 7th, we have Iron Compass. And then on the 8th, we have the Chroma Cup. Alright, now that we're done putting ourselves over, it's a great day for wrestling. We are wrestling with the news. And a big piece of news this week was that Impact Wrestling is going back to TNA. Um, your thoughts on the transition back into TNA, Pete?
Uh, I mean, it's bold, I guess, and when you think about it, they're just trying to bring that lexicon of nostalgia with it. And when you think of TNA, as much as people may shit on TNA, they had a lot of people in their camp during the TNA days that panned out to be like really really good wrestlers, right?
Right,
Like so, it's it's easier to say it's easier for them to go TNA where these guys got their roots than Impact. You know, if that makes sense, right?
right. Well, I mean, the
So
only
to
reason
smart move,
they
smart
moved
move.
away from TNA was because of the connotations that it's tits and ass.
Right. Well, at the time, it was TNA on Spike TV, so of course, it, like it was kind of they didn't do themselves any favor. You know what I mean?
So you're saying that they got a boost in ratings for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, because I mean TNA on Spike TV for guys, just guys. Of course, people would insinuate that, right?
Right.
A casual would insinuate that.
When, when I started the show, did I not introduce you?
Yes, you did.
Okay, I did it. Okay. It's just been one of those days.
I think
um,
that's with everybody.
yeah. Um, so yeah. I mean, when you, even today, when we're talking about TNA, Impact Wrestling, we call it TNA. Um, so, I mean, it's just getting, it's making a something less complicated in my book. And people always
Yeah,
go back to TNA. Always, people always going to know it as TNA. You know, it was
pretty
always
much.
TNA Impact. So
Exactly.
on their side of things, it was the right move to make.
It was because it's kind of like I equate it to the Staples Center being crypto because no matter how many times they call it Crypto Arena, everybody and their mama say Staples Center.
Right.
So like it'll forever be known as that lexicon, right? So because it's been that thing has become such uh, that name has become so fond memory. Some good, some bad, but memories nonetheless.
Well, speaking of memories, a one William Patrick uh, Corbin, no, uh, Billy Corgan. There you go. Um, he said that they're bringing back the territory system into the United States. Um, I'm pretty sure they're called indies nowadays. Um, this doesn't necessarily make too much sense to me for the simple fact that territories died in the 80s. And I mean, it's okay to have like a joint partnership with an independent company, but to say that, you're bringing territories and they're all going to be under you, even though you're maybe maybe an E list promotion, it doesn't really mean a lot. You know what I mean?
Well, the NWA in its heyday was territorial. It was Like NWA was all over the Southeast, and it was one big umbrella, right?
Right.
So like that's why you had like Ric Flair being like the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and then they had an NWA United like national champion. So I see where he's trying to do with that little bit of nuance there. Um, the Indies in itself, it's I see what he wants because when you think territories, and this was back in the 80s and 90s, they would work that area for the feud, right? They wouldn't come there for a match and then dip out and then, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They would work the feud. They would work it until it has an ending or something to where it's a continuation. Then they would trail off, which I think in some cases the indies might need because we have a lot of dream matches, but we don't have a lot of dream feuds in the indies. Right? Like something where it can actually carry over into the year or into a next event. Because it's one thing to sell out one event and get that going, but it's a whole different to have those that one star feud with another star and that tells a story over the let's say couple of months that it's there. And that's what the territories was actually back in the day. Because especially when it was synonymous with Mid South, that's basically what Mid South was. Mid South was basically a stepping stone for feuds. So you would have like the who's who gamut of wrestlers coming through, and then they would do their thing for like 3-4 months. It would end in a match. It would end in a series of matches. Then they would go away for like 6 months, and depending on how it went down, they would come back either face or heel, depending on what it was. So it always been that way, and sometimes I kind of miss that because it just made you appreciate like when they left and when they came back, kind of the surprise element of it all.
Well, yes, and you're right about that, but you're also in at that time. Ric Flair was arguably the second biggest star in the world, next to Hulk Hogan, and wrestling fans always had that debate: who was better, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, who was Title A, who was Title B.
Right.
But now, in I don't think EC3 is in the conversation for top pro wrestler in the world, and the N- the
Damn.
NWA Championship, it means a lot less than it did back in the 80s and 90s. So
Well, that's true, but the thing is though where they are, where NWA is based, it may not mean nothing to somebody in California, and I get that. But when you think of that title in the South, it means a fucking lot. Like that's where I think that's why I said it's more of a regional shift than a national shift. Because even then, even when you look at it, the NWA was primarily southeast,
that is true.
southeast to Midwest. So there's no difference of them going, sticking to that script. So I could see NWA being considered quote unquote territorial, but their territory is basically Texas, Texas, the whole southeast, maybe Missouri included in that. So I can see that.
Alright, well, we will see how that pans out for them. Um, Speaking of the indies, Ronda did an indie. Ronda Rousey. She was at Lucha Vavoom. Um, she had an impromptu tag team match with Marina Shafir against Brian Kendricks and Kyle Rockberry. Did you hear about this?
I heard about it. Yeah. I mean, you knew she was gonna do something with one of her four horsemen mates. Shayna, she can't do shit with Shayna. Shayna done knocked her out of it, and then Jessica is somewhere. So that was the only one left.
I mean, as long as she stays on the independents, I think it might do her good.
Who, Rhonda? Come on, man. Don't.
But
Okay.
not just
She was. She wasn't that bad.
I mean, and then she did. We're talking about Marina, but Brian Kendrick was.
Damn.
But the one that the person that trained her was Brian Kendricks, so she was in there with two people she knew really well.
Yeah.
So
Brian Kendricks don't get a lot of due. That motherfucker.
he doesn't, and especially out here, he is. He's pretty well respected, honestly. He trained a lot of our guests on the show, so yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't get a lot of his due. Brian Kendricks, shout out.
And Valkyrie is obviously the odd woman out again.
I mean, it is what it is.
Well, WWE announced that they're doing their first PLE in Germany. Um, this I feel like this is maybe a big thing that they're doing because when you think about pro wrestling, yeah, you think the big three: America, Japan, um, Mexico. But Germany is in there somewhere, and it's always been a really big um, country for pro wrestling. So for WWE to do a PLE there, I feel like it's a big deal. What say you, Kaliko?
I told you that's their formula, man. That's the new formula WWE's doing because they're seeing that a lot of doing these PLEs overseas like has been wonders for them. Not only at the gate, but just from audience participation, right?
Hmm.
Like that's their formula, and they have the currency to do so. Hey, let's do a PLE or pay per view. Fuck all this PLE. Let's do a pay per view in Germany. Do a pay per view in all these spots we haven't been at in so long, and it's building that demand. Like, as a matter of fact, there's a guy, a friend of mine. Once he found out I was in Germany, he already bought the tickets. He
Wow.
bought the tickets. He's going to Germany. It's a wrap
Oh, he's going
because
to Germany.
he's going. Yeah. So that's how crazy it is. Because it not only does it help that local market internationally, it makes the American fan want to go be a part of that, right?
Right.
Like, I don't know how bad, you don't know how bad I was like, bro, I might fly to Puerto Rico. Because it
Right.
was like, Jesus, you would have thought Jesus walked out when Bad Bunny popped out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you couldn't get that, you wouldn't have got that Bad Bunny feeling anywhere else but Puerto Rico.
I don't know. He got a big pop at Mania on the night after.
LA. But what I'm saying is, nothing beats a native.
Right.
Nothing beats a native response. And I'm already looking at Ludwig Kaiser, and I'm he wait, he can't put money he on the card. Put money he's on that card.
He's coming out dressed like Selena Vega, but in the German flag.
I bet your ass, bet that ass. But it's good though. That's great for the it's great for the community because it also it globalizes the pay-per-view, you know what I mean,
Right.
experience. And that's something that I told you, man, we spoiled. We were getting 12 a year and they were like, "Oh, let's try these." I think when Sammy when they did it this year, they were like, "Oh shit, it was better than we thought." So we might as well just keep it going.
And I am excited to see what how the German fans react to WWE. If it's going to be as loud as England or Puerto Rico or any of those places.
England, Puerto Rico. They did England, Puerto Rico, Canada.
I mean, Canada's on this side of the world.
But Canada's on this side of the world. Yes.
We're
However,
connected.
huh?
We're connected.
It's connected, but come on, man. That was the first time in Toronto in a hot minute. Or was no, it was
It has.
Montreal, was it?
It was.
Yeah, that was the first time in Montreal in a hot minute.
Um,
Same with London and same with
right.
Puerto Rico and same. So they're doing these things and they see the demand because people are they're going to make money because Americans going to want to come out and be in that community, which only helps the wrestling community. To be quite honest, it helps the wrestling fans to understand that America is not just this wrestling bubble, right?
Right. Oh, I mean, okay, you mentioned it. They went to England, always a hot crowd for wrestling. Puerto Rico, which is, another hotbed for pro wrestling. And then, Germany, one of the largest productions of pro wrestlers. Um, it's rumored that France might get a PLE in the future. Um, when I think of France, the first thing isn't necessarily pro wrestling. So,
Actually, they had a lady, a chick in NXT. I forgot her name. Amel, I forgot her name. Amel something, but that girl was bad. She's bad, but she was good in the ring too. So they got some good wrestlers. France,
I would say,
but also on the token, Europe is the same as the East Coast, to where motherfuckers from Germany can just hop on a train to France.
hmm,
Boom. You see what I'm saying?
I gotcha.
It's all interconnected there, so it's not out of the ordinary to be like, oh yeah, no, I'll just hop on a
Okay,
train and go straight to the other country.
okay, so there might be a big influx of people from other countries.
Right. That you know they usually probably don't go to
Yeah.
because keep in mind France is essentially France next year is the Olympics, so it's going to be the eye of the world anyway.
Well, one person that's probably gonna be on that those cards, um, Becky Lynch, but she will not be holding the NXT Championship because Becky lost the championship at Halloween Havoc to a girl named Larry Lucchini.
Yes,
Yeah. Um, or Thoughts and Prayers with Becky? Question mark?
nah. Well, Jade's coming, so Jade's going to be. You want to set that up down the line.
Well,
So we all know Jade's coming. And the question is, where does she start? And it's going to be in NXT, obviously. So I mean, she might do what Bianca couldn't do, win the NXT title, and actually, you know what I mean? I think they're gonna set her up to dominate because that division in NXT, it was just Becky Headstrong. But now since they got a name in which people know and they're looking forward to seeing what they do with her, she could probably carry that division.
Well, I mean,
And
this.
then a couple girls there that can go.
Well, I mean, the Leukemia Girl beat Becky, so she's champion now. So she gets that credibility of being the girl that beat Becky.
Yeah, but it wasn't like she dominated Becky. That's the difference. It was a roll up.
Hmm,
It was a roll up. Americans do roll ups.
I mean, but she still beat her. It's
True.
alright.
True. True.
From one disease to another, AEW announced World's End on December 30th, one day before New Year's Eve. I'm not exactly sure what this is going to be, but is that something we necessarily want to see before we go into January? Leave a bad taste in our mouth into the new year.
Well, all I know is I'm kicking the New Year at Raw in San Diego, so ain't
Oh,
nothing blowing my high off that bitch. If I end the year with AEW, I might as well kick the year off with Raw in Dago, baby.
very true. And last week we mentioned, Sting retiring and all the hoopla that goes into that. And then I fucked up. I spoke something into existence.
You spoke Ric Flair in existence, you son of a bitch. Yes. When I saw that, I was like, God damn it, James.
Ric Flair has debuted for AEW. He will be teaming with Sting and Darby Allin to fight Christian Cakes, Luchasaurus, and Bruce Wayne.
Bro, why'd you do this to us?
I'm sorry, I didn't know I had that kind of power.
Like, Ric Flair, I was like, no, the fuck they didn't.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay. They did. I was like, yeah, they did.
and
They did it.
he will be Sting's last match. Unfortunately, it won't be his last
Team
match. He'll wrestle like 10 more times. It will be Sting's last match.
bullshit. Ric Flair, like, I want to have a last individual match, a last tag match, a last. He damn near trying to get a last man standing match. Literally, like he's working on it.
As much as I'm like Ric Flair, I'm even more Tony Khan. Why? Why did you give this man a contract?
Why'd you have him wrestle?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there.
Yeah, that's.
But
I mean, it is what it is.
Doc Anderson, the son of Arn Anderson, is not working for AEW anymore. He didn't have a bad look. I can't really tell you if he had any potential because I didn't see him wrestle all that often. Um, but if AEW kind of treated him a little better, he might have been something in the company. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in the future when a Moxley or a Brian Danielson, decide to retire, you have that guy to replace them. Um, So in my mind, I think they dropped the ball again because obviously Brian Pillman Jr., Lexus King now, these guys are the future stars and they're letting them go. And this could be WWE's benefit again. Agree with me or disagree?
It just depends on how you. Because to me, they have a lot of futures, but only so many people can get to the top, right? Like, you remember when they first started and Private Party was supposed to have been the future of the tag team division, but then it was supposed to have been the Pillmans, and then, you know what I'm saying? So things shift. Shit shifts. And it's unfortunate that that happens, but that's part of the game. And I mean, as long as they got a spot where they can go and flourish, to me, I'm more than happy about that. Like, hey, go see what's out there, see what you can do. Um, I just had a problem with AEW just doesn't know how to solidify the guys that they actually want to groom into the future. Because remember, some of these people that now have popped up were afterthoughts, right? Ricky Starks, Darby was always kind of in the mix. Jungle Boy was in the mix because to me, they're more invested in their four than anybody else. So
Right.
they're more invested in Sammy, MJF, um, Darby Allin, and Jungle Boy. That's their four, and they made it as such by calling them pillars. But the problem is, the pillars ain't worth a damn if they're not on a foundation. And that's where, you know what I'm saying? They could have had a lot of people that were foundational stars, maybe not even like heavyweight championship material or even championship material, but people where you could see them as legitimate threat to be a pillar. Right?
Right.
And that's where the issue lies.
Well,
And this is where it's all mixed because wasn't like After Dark meant to highlight some of these guys on the come up?
but I mean, how many people actually watch Dark on YouTube?
That is true, but I think this is where NXT, like, as much as we shit on WWE, this is where they have the advantage because they know they lay a foundation, but they also mix in old cats with cats that they want to build up, or
Right.
they bring in vets with cats that they want to build up. Like 3 years ago, Mello was like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now he's the man. Same with Braun Breaker. Same with, you know what I'm saying? These are guys that they built up, and they just kind of stuck with it, and now they're at their peak, and this is where they should be able to fly their wings. I mean, same with Trick Williams. Just look at that dude in the last 6 months.
I mean, look at him last week when he had the conversation with John Cena.
Yeah, that was funny shit. But and that's where I think. But then again, AEW don't have a structure in place for that because to me, it seems like everybody's just doing their shit, right?
So what you're saying is they need vets for their cats.
I mean, no, they need something. They need structure. They need structure to know, okay, and I get it because they just want to be not WWE, right? Which is fine. But when you got people leaving left and right, granted, Jay didn't left on great terms, but Pillman and Anderson didn't. There's several people that didn't.
Who left on good terms?
Well, Cargill.
Oh,
She
Jade
said that they
Cargill.
left. Yeah, Cargill left on good terms, but
That you know of.
that we know of, but we don't know the rest. So it's
Right.
just a matter of them trying to figure out where those particular people fit.
You know, Cargill was its own separate case because they did actually build her to be a superstar, and then when she just kind of got obviously she felt she was bigger than the company itself because the first time she had to do a job, she literally left the company. Um,
Nah, I don't think that's the case. I
um,
don't think that's the case with her. I
it feels like
think
it's the case.
me personally, and I could see her in this regard. Did you really think she was going to be in that lexicon with? Because here's what it was: the TBS title should have been the precursor to winning the AEW Women's title, right? Or the TBS title, rather.
Okay.
Do you think AEW did everything in their power to put her in position to elevate to that next title?
Um, you know, honestly, I felt like the TBS championship was more on the level of the AEW Women's Championship as an equal title rather than the secondary title. And that's part
Really? So the TNT title is basically on the same level as
no, fuck no.
exactly. Do you see my point? Now you see my point.
But there's such an imbalance with the women's division. That's kind
There
of
was
that's why I kind of feel that way about it.
there is. You're right on that, but I also
But
think
she might have been smart enough because once she dropped the championship, like many of the other women that drop the championship, they kind of go into flux where you don't really know where they are on the spectrum because they don't have rivalries with the women that aren't for the title.
yeah, that's the case. They go in a flummox. Ask ask. Let's see, Britt Baker.
Correct?
Who else? I mean, Sheeta.
Correct. Well, she's champion now. So,
Rio,
Nyla Rose,
Nyla Rose.
Marina Shafir, Anna Jay, Julia Hart,
See, but
and the
those are people, and that's where I have an issue. But that's with both companies, though. They kind of build everything around the title, and that. What's the point of having a deep division when no one's really trying to fight to figure out, other than the title, who's the best? Because the title
well,
shouldn't be. The title is significant that they're the best, but eventually you have to get people to get credibility to be a contender.
right. Well, going back on Brock Anderson, Jake Cargill, Brian Pillman, all leaving young, talented people that could have been something for the company. I'm starting to really feel like this is very WWE, WCW esque. And I know, Tony has a hard on for WCW, but what was the ultimate demise of WCW in the 2000s. They had when all their top WWE world talent left, there wasn't enough people to pick up the company. They had Stone Cold, they had Mankind, they had Undertaker, they had Triple H, they had Chris Jericho. All of those guys went to WWE and became megastars. Well, WCW took Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, the guys that were over the hill already before they came to the company. And I'm seeing that with WWE right now. They took Brian Pillman, possibly Brock Anderson in the future, Jake Cargill. They fucking got Cody back. And who did AEW poach? They poached Edge,
CM Punk,
CM Punk, um,
Ric Flair,
Ric Flair, as over
Ric
the
Flair,
as over the hill
B-
can get.
Big Big Show,
Mark
Mark
Henry,
Henry,
yeah, Christian.
uh, Christian. I mean, Christian doing good work though. To be quite honest, Christian doing good shit.
He's doing good shit, but I mean, it's not. He's not on. He's not a spring chicken. He's in the twilight of his
Right,
career.
right. But that's what happens when you got TV execs want stars on TV. Stars get ratings, yo. I mean, uh, that's how it is. But they also got like Jay White, Juice Robinson, Tony Storm. They got some cats. They got some people. It's just they have to figure out because the way AEW kind of does it, they pair all these young people with old people, and you would think these young people would listen to the old people, but I think the problem is that the young people don't give a shit about the old people. It's almost like AEW is like a big brother, big sister program for for wrestling. Think of it that way. I swear to God, that's what it seems like. Because think about it, Darby Allin with Sting, MJF with Adam Cole, who's kind of like in his prime, but he's been around the block for some years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Christian with Luchasaurus. You know what I'm saying? Like all these people, it's almost like a mentor mentee. Badass Billy Gunn with goddamn uh fucking the Acclaim. So you see what I'm saying?
Right.
It Chris Jericho with anybody. It's basically big brother, big sister.
And maybe joining the fray is Will Ospreay. His contract comes up in February with New Japan. He said that he's open to all offers. Um, as everybody knows, I'm not a big Will Ospreay fan.
Oh boo.
If
Boo
he
hoo.
goes any, if if he goes to WWE, I don't feel like that's a big deal. AEW will make
Depends on who he's going to go fight. Because to me, it seems like he wants only one person in WWE.
who's that?
Seth Rollins.
Is that what he said?
That's kind of been out there because he just feels like Seth Rollins thinks he's the best wrestler in the world, and he feels like he's the best wrestler in the world.
Oh, well,
So,
it's nice to be
but
deluded, no?
but that's his big fish. But I don't think he's going to go to WWE for that one big fish.
And I mean,
And,
when they got Ricochet, it was like, oh, it's Ricochet, big deal. But, it's been like, what, like 7 years, and he's only had one big match in that whole time frame in WWE. I mean, his biggest claim to fame in WWE was losing to Logan Paul like 4 months ago.
what? Not Intercontinental Champion, United States Champion, Ricochet.
Who remembers that?
What? I mean, he did beat Samoa Joe, sir. How dare you?
See, I don't remember that. I do not remember him beating Samoa Joe. I remember
Shame on you. Shame on you, sir.
I remember Walter beating him for the championship, and now he brought the Intercontinental Championship back to Glory. But I don't
But if
remember.
it wasn't for Ricochet, there is no Walter, sir. That's the point. But then again, Ricochet is the guy. Is he gonna be a world champion? No. But does he do shit that makes people go wow and and plays his role to the T? Yes. And they have more faith in a guy like that.
Do you think Will Ospreay would be satisfied with that?
I don't think Will Ospreay is leaving. Because to me, he's probably the top gaijin in that fucking company at this point. For better or for worse, he's the number one Ace Boon Kun gaijin.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, so was Kenny Omega was arguably the biggest gaijin of all time, and he
Kenny
left.
Omega was an adopted transfer kid who.
Exactly.
So that's totally different than Will Ospreay.
I
Will Ospreay ain't going there speaking Japanese, sir. He's the fish and chips guy.
and
Kenny Omega was all Mr. Anime. He's Mr. Japan. He's basically a white Okada. That's basically what he is. He might as well be a white Okada.
But I mean, even Jay White, the prodigal son of New Japan, he came up in the dojo. Even he left New Japan. It, the problem is New Japan is always going to have a glass ceiling for gaijins. It's never. Now, yeah, Kenny broke that to some degree, but it's always going to be the Japanese guy first. It's always going to be Okada because he's the main star of the show. And the guy seems as high as they could get, and they can't give them a lot of accolades. It's never going to be enough because they're never going to be on the level of Okada main eventing and winning at Wrestle Kingdom on January 4th.
Well,
And
but Okada, that's unfair because it's it's comparing all the gaijins to the ghost of Okada. When Okada was, and not saying that he was a Okada was an anomaly that because he was super immersed in the culture, he spoke the language. You know what I'm saying?
you're
He
talking
was
about
in the
Omega.
Omega was of the yeah, not Okada, Omega. Omega was of the culture. He embraced himself in the culture. Unlike others where the people can kind of see they're here for a paycheck. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But that's why I
Like,
said he
like,
did break the glass ceiling for gaijins to a degree, but nobody has been to that degree since him. Jay White's came close, and Ospreay's came close, but
yeah, Jay White's came close. Osprey's won the title. Though I think those are the only two, though. Those were the only two.
they're
And God
never
knows what's going to happen with Fit Finley, or Little Finley.
David Finley,
Little Finley.
Bill Finley. There you go.
Little Finley. There you go. That's
Um,
his name.
is he wrestling with Flair?
He's wrestling with that, that. He's wrestling with the Shadow Bullet Club, and that's the key.
Yeah. Um,
Because he's like the unlikely leader, and everyone's like, "What?"
And we're talking about if he goes to WWE, probably a mid carder at best. But if he goes to AEW, if he goes to if he goes to Impact TNA now, they're gonna treat him like the second coming of Jesus. Honestly, they need somebody that people are gonna come in for. So they will give him that benefit of the doubt. And even in AEW will treat him like a big star that he thinks he is. Whether or
But the
not
problem is how long is that gonna last?
exactly
Because they treat everybody like the big shit when they first get in.
right,
It's after you have that first big match, sir.
you're not wrong about that.
Shit, Jay White was the shit when he got there. Look where he at now.
He's going to the championship in a couple weeks.
But that's my point. He's gonna be the big shit until he loses, and then what?
True.
Adam Cole, he was the hot shit, and then
I mean,
and
and
then
it wasn't. Well,
and,
it was 100% his fault. He exploded his ankle.
and then Keith Lee, he was the hot shit, and then
Was he there for that shit?
Miro, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
shall I continue? Ruby Soho, and then
Well, our last bit of news. Uh, a former WWE superstar claimed that Hulk Hogan had a gumball machine full of drugs in his locker room. Would you like to take a guess of what former WWE superstar claimed this?
couldn't be in the gobbledygooker, but
I think that's a
let me
really
guess.
good guess.
Hold on, what's his name? Duke the Dumpster Drosy.
And you would be wrong. It was indeed Marty Jannetty.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
yes.
Marty fucking okay, Marty.
He lost all his change in that gumball machine.
The guy who I saw pass that. Never mind. Um,
Now, a quick word from our sponsors. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low calorie, no sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off brands out there that are presenting low quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more win.
use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. Pro Wrestling with the WWE Crown Jewel. It's next Saturday. Um, it takes place in Rio de Janeiro, Saudi Arabia, at the Mohammed Abdul Arena, and we got 6 solid matches. It's interesting to me because when they first came to Saudi Arabia, they were packing these shows with like everything that they had and more. Like the kitchen sink, they had like 5 kitchen sinks at in these Saudi Arabia shows. And now having Roman Reigns and Logan Paul on a Saudi Arabia show is enough. The guys that they have are enough to get the people in the arena. I'm not sure if you know the full card, but if you do, how do you feel about it, Cooper?
I mean, it kind of helps that the people realize that Yokozuna is dead,
You think that they're telling people
but
that
yeah,
Roman
I
is
mean,
Yoko?
bro, they were asking for like Yokozuna and Andre the Giant, bro. Like, what the fuck are y'all talking?
I mean,
Even WWE looking like, bro, we can't.
the Big Show and Roman Reigns. Yoko lost weight. The Giant cut shaved his head. There you go.
Oh Lord, nah. But I mean, it it's enough. I mean, Roman's enough because he's already on that Santa Claus schedule, and then watch throw in a Sammy. You good?
I mean, you don't
I
even have
doubt that's gonna happen.
I mean, you don't even have to throw in Sammy. He's not going to be on the event. Um, but let's get into it. It was announced yesterday on SmackDown that Io Sky will be defending the Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. Uh, who wins, Kalika?
When does Bailey cost Io the title? Is the question.
Did they pay for her flight or not?
I think Io's been on thin ice a bit. Uh, I could kind of see like a Bianca by DQ because Bailey is gonna fuck it up.
Hmm.
But so that's one way to get out of it.
You think that they're gonna pull the trigger on putting the belt back on Bianca? Um, this soon?
I don't think they're gonna put the belt on her. I just think she's gonna win. She's gonna win, but not win the title. If that makes sense.
I get that. So,
That's why I said it's gonna be like a funky. I can see this like a funky DQ.
okay.
Like
Um,
Bailey's trying to help, and it causes Io to get disqualified. Bianca wins, thus having to get a rematch, thus bringing forth that story of Bailey, because it's been a while since Bailey has held that title,
right.
and she's kind of getting into that borderline. You remember when Triple H was always like the title was more important than the friendship kind of thing,
Right.
and I see Bailey doing that just kind of in an invertent era, like I care about you winning the title, and Io's trying to prove her point that she can do it on her own. Dakota's stuck in all this, but
She's just happy to be there.
yes, cute Dakota, happy to be there.
You know what? I agree with you. Let's go with Bianca by DQ, or just DQ in general. Oh no, I got it. Double count out.
Double count out.
Double count out. There you go.
Double count out. I agree. Double count out.
Next match: John Cena versus Solo Sikoa. Um,
Talk
I want to
about
have
a
hope.
match.
Huh? Hmm?
Talk about a big match for Solo.
Yeah. I want to have hope that uh, Solo has a good match with John Cena, but it is John Cena, and it's 50-50. And it does seem like we're getting John Cena from 2010 rather than John Cena from 2014.
Because it doesn't hurt Solo.
What do you mean?
Because Solo loses a match, it's John Cena. They're going to consider Solo kind of like the lackey.
I mean, yeah, I
It's
can.
going to mean more for it. Because Solo's like that entry level, like, mafia boss. Jimmy is the one that's going to benefit if he ever gets Cena again.
So Cena for the win on this one.
Cena for the win. Come on.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest. Who wins?
Next. Next. You know who winning.
What do you mean?
I've yet to see a Money in the Bank winner win a match in Saudi Arabia.
I'm trying to think who was the last person to hold the Money in the Bank and wrestle in Saudi Arabia.
Last year it was.
Theory was the holder, but I don't even remember him having a match. So
Who was the holder last year? Theory. Yeah, Theory. But you remember Theory was kept trying to play cash in.
yeah, 1, 2, 3. We have a theory on here. No theory. Yeah. Oh, but does if Cody loses to Damian Priest, does it hurt Cody?
Depends on how Cody loses to Damian Priest. But then again, the way everybody's been losing to the Judgment Day, it's like everybody just coming in like the Wu-Tang Clan. So, with that being said, Cody already beat Dirty Dom, and Damian's next. And he's going to have to beat Damian. Going to have to beat Damian.
I don't know
It's in
about
Saudi
that.
Arabia.
I think
Smile.
Damian has more to gain beating Cody, and I think if considering the position Damian is right now, it could make for a nice little rivalry down the line if one of them holds a title.
Which is why I think Cody wins the title, Damian cashes in. I'm telling you, that's what's gonna. I'm, I'm lying. I'm flying.
All right, so this is where we split. You're Cody, I'm Damian.
Hmm.
All right, United States Championship match: Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul. Who wins? Kalika.
Low key, Logan Paul should win.
Yes. 100% agree.
Like so, he so should win this title because honestly, that would further him and Ricochet, which is funny because it seems like that they've been kind of getting ready to get back at it. To which, I think Logan wins and he'll end up losing to Ricochet.
That makes sense.
Because
Considering what we
Ricochet
saw
needs the
Monday.
redemption because of the simple fact that Logan's been still fucking with his girl about saying his name as the winner of the match. So therefore, him winning the title, Ricochet getting redemption by getting his girl to say his name and saying, "Oh no!" It that story tells itself.
You're not wrong. So, and
Samantha's cute ass yelling, "No!" Come on, bro.
and then Rey Mysterio goes on to become champion of all of North America,
Hmm.
just not just America. All right. A fatal five-way for the women's championship. Rhea Ripley defends against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Starks, and Rachel Gonzalez. Who wins, Kaliko?
Ooh. Zoe's. I know who's taking the pin.
Zoe's taking the pin.
Zoe's taking the pin. The question is, who's pinning her? If I had to pick two, either Rhea or Nia.
What I could see happening is Nia has the pin, and then Rhea throws her out and steals the victory.
Rhea gonna throw big ass Nia off.
Right.
Right.
Because the rivalry is with Nia and Rhea. This is kind of just the speed bump in between.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them pulling the trigger and having Rhea lose the championship. There hasn't been any signs on my side of things, but maybe you see things differently.
I mean, we also didn't see Dirty Dom losing to whoop that trick either.
I mean, no, but it was a detour.
Every road needs a detour, sir.
If she does lose the championship, I don't see it being here. I see it being right before the Australia show in February, where it could be, this crowning achievement for her to win the title back.
A heel winning her title in her hometown, which she doesn't give a damn about. We need to get with what's her face to see if she can get us tickets.
Savannah.
Yes.
Shout out to Savannah, new mom.
What?
Yeah, she just had I believe, a son a couple weeks ago.
There goes my shot.
I didn't even know you were throwing.
Shooters go shoot, son. Shooters shoot.
Oh my god. Um, Rhea might be a heel, but she's in the Stone Cold type of heel. I don't think anybody hates
Really?
Rhea. I think everybody loves Mommy and what she's doing. I haven't heard anybody boo her. When she talks, people cheer. When Dom talks, they boo. It's a weird dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
but it's been working for like what, the last 6 months.
Uh, true.
But that being said, I am excited to see the match because I haven't felt like Rhea's title has been in jeopardy up until this point. So to see her in a position where she may actually lose the championship is pretty exciting. I will say that.
But the problem is that she ran through half that goddamn roster, and it's not even close in some matches.
How, who did she run through? Selena Vega, who looks up to Rey Mysterio physically. Natalia, who is just happy to be there, and then Raquel. And Raquel was the only legitimate, rivalry she had in the last since Mania, honestly.
Well, that's because the rest of them went to SmackDown. Not her fault.
Well,
But everybody else, she been wrecking, son.
she has three new opponents in this match, and it does seem like Becky's waiting for her on the other end. So who knows? She has opportunities for rivalries. All right. I'm Rhea. Who are you going with? Rhea, Naya.
Uh, we'll go with Rhea for now.
Are you going to change it somewhere down the line for now?
Everyone has a right to change their mind. So.
Like 5 seconds before she gets the 3 count, you're like, okay, I'm with this one. All right.
I might.
How dare you? World Heavyweight Championship match: Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Um, my my thing about this match is, where is it going to be placed? Because where it's going to be placed is going to be a major factor of how it plays out. If this takes place, if this is the first match out and it's the bookend, then I see Seth maybe winning the match more than Drew. If this match takes place literally right before Roman and LA Knight, I see Drew winning. And then it's another thing for Drew to complain about. To say, oh, I won the championship, but it was overshadowed by Roman and the Bloodline again. What say you, Kaliko?
I think this is going to be its own match, like main event. The question is, do we see Seth leaving with the title?
Do you?
That's the bigger question, and I really don't know. And this is where I say, this is why I think one of two things is going to happen. Either Cody beats Damian, Damian's cashing in, because eventually he's got to cash in. And the question is when.
Right.
Uh, so I'm trying to think. This one's confusing to me because this is one of those things where it could be sticky too. I could see Day jumping on both of them, double disqualification type shit.
Double count out?
No, double disqualification, just basically Judgment Day whooping everybody ass.
True. What do you think of my how I viewed it, that if the match is the first out, then Seth wins. But if it's right before Roman and Knight, it's um it's Drew.
I can't see it because because technically Drew got his eyes set on Cody for bringing Jay on. So we just got to figure that aspect of it. Um, to me, I can make a case for both of them winning, so that's why I say it's a toss-up to me.
Right.
Because Drew wouldn't come back unless he knew he was going to be a champion. Unless he still ain't signed.
Oh, that that's right. He isn't signed yet. I completely overlooked that little bit of that little tidbit right there. I nearly forgot about that, honestly. So you think if
so,
he signed,
so
yeah,
if he's signed, he's champ. If he's not signed, Seth might as well go ahead hold on for a little bit longer, homie.
and that's the way to look at it.
I mean, at least, you know what, Seth? Hold the title till you get the Dago. Because I'm trying to be front row singing the chant with your ass.
I mean, whether or not he has the championship, he's still going to be signed.
But usually when they lose a title, they take a time off. Keep your ass on
Ah,
that.
I see. I see.
Keep your ass on that schedule. Selfish, selfishly looking at January 1st.
Somebody has an agenda.
Don't we all?
All right. Undisputed WWE Universal Championship match: Roman Reigns versus LA Knight.
I
Roman.
told you this was coming. I told your ass this was coming.
I mean, but
Y'all looked at me crazy. I was like, that shit's coming. It was a natural progression.
I think this was the best time to pull the trigger, and also the wrong time to pull the trigger at the same time. Because
Well,
people,
it's the best time because it's his measuring stick.
well, I mean, people
That's the.
want it, but nobody expects him to really win in the same breath.
I mean,
It's gonna help him get to the
to
next level, but it's not the
yes,
crowning moment.
because you're not gonna. I mean, Stone Cold fought for titles before he became the guy.
True.
It's a measuring stick, right? Like it's just to show. It's just to be like, can you physically see yourself in the ring and legitimately winning the belt? And if the answer is yes, why not have him put that measuring stick?
I also think it's a great way to pacify the crowd in a sense that, if Jay or Cody or Drew or whoever wins the Royal Rumble and challenges Roman, then they're not mad that it's not LA Knight. You kind of understand what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't
but
know
I
why they
also
would be
like
mad, but it seems like people are over with those guys, but obviously LA Knight is coming up with them.
but to me it's either way, and honestly I think they just set this up because they have so many archetype stories they can go with now because everyone has a legit gripe with Roman.
Right.
Now the question is, all of those motherfuckers are gonna have to figure out who's gonna be the one, and that's the story.
Right.
Because it's Drew has a case, Jay has a case, Cody has a case, LA Knight's about to have a goddamn case.
You can make the
So
argument. Seth has a case,
you can make the argument Seth has a case.
and
However,
Damien actually has a case, a briefcase.
Damien has the case. So
Yes.
yeah, it's a lot. So yeah, so I think that's the next progression of the bloodline story, and it doesn't involve Roman. It involves all these Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. It's a gang of people who has a case to do it.
I think we'll
It's a
maybe
smart way to do it. Because it's like the enemy of yeah,
Oh, could you repeat that? You kind of went out.
it's someone like my enemy's enemy is my friend.
Well, yeah, that was definitely Cody and Jay at one point. Um, I
Right.
I mean, yeah, you could make an argument for Owens but he had so many opportunities at this point, and I feel like, yeah, we're throwing Sammy in the fire right now, but I feel like
I'm
he's still maybe a year or two away from actually getting that big one.
oh,
Sammy.
Sammy ain't in the title.
Oh no, I mean, being an actual threat to actually capture it.
His biggest threat was in Montreal.
Sure.
That was about as close. That's about as close as he gets it, and he understands it. But that doesn't stop him having the gripe,
Right.
and that's the bigger issue. Because to me, it's just about all these people trying to figure out. You got a good 6 or 7 people who's going to try to figure out who's going to be the one. Hell, John Cena got a goddamn gripe. He's starting a gripe.
I mean, he's essentially playing little buddy to LA Knight in order to get him over right now, which isn't a bad thing.
It's not. It's just that Vince means he's going to Jimmy, which means he's going to Roman, unless Jimmy beats Cena.
And that would be interesting if he actually did.
You see my point? But some tell me Jimmy gonna come out and do what the fuck he wanna do. So it doesn't even matter.
Alright. Um, any last thoughts on Crown Jewel, or should we conclude?
I think I think they gotta have to add a couple more. But you know what? 6 might be a good number.
Six has been the number. Well, actually, seven. There's 7 matches on the card.
What's the 7th?
The EO
Oh
Bianca
yeah, the
match.
EO Bianca.
Yeah. Alright.
Touche.
Then we shall conclude, and we shall have a review of all things Crown Jewel in 2 weeks, because we will be in the middle of recording the show when the event is actually taking place, and that's kind of cool. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, but on YouTube and Castbox. This is sponsored by Rogue Energy and Pale One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Briar Hill. Join us this Wednesday as we interview Zhao Yan. And join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new corporate interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Instagram, and Thread. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
I am Kaliko Saban.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.